Okay, we are back with another episode. And as usual, let me go check the audio. I think one issue has been that the music is quite low in the recordings, I've noticed. So even though it sounds quite loud to me, in the recordings it's quite low. Especially in the Smoldering Corpse, there was a creepy little music. Not creepy, there was an interesting soundtrack playing in the Smoldering Corpse bar, and I could not recognize it in the recording. So there's definitely some adjustment to the music that's to be done. The thing is, if I increase it anything more than this, it sounds very loud to me. So that's what I've been struggling with. But let me actually see if we can make it work. So let me quickly check the audio. Give me a second. Yeah, we'll stick with this setting for now. Let's see. And the screen was blank earlier. The window was not selected, but I was basically showing you the sound setting. If I increase it anything above like this point, becomes quite hard to think because the music is blaring in your ears. So hopefully the Smoldering Corpse has a slightly muted music than it's playing in the main menu. So we'll keep it this way and resume our game. How do we go back? We'll assume like we were in Smoldering Corpse where we just finished talking to, I think his name was Candrian, who has been, okay, let's actually resume.
I feel stronger.
And talk. Okay, so we talked to Candrian, who has been, okay, hopefully you can hear that music, right? They're like loud drums and some other like sad musical instrument. Let me bump that up a bit more so that it's that sounds nice, right? What is that? Some sort of a flute or a horn or something. So yeah, I'll just reduce the volume in my headset and hope that we can listen to the music that way. Yeah, so we talked to Candrian, who has given us a extensive explanation of the setting of planes, and I also like try to understand where this world is, where what the setting of this world is. So from what I got outside of the game, this is taking place in Planescape setting, which is a setting, quote unquote setting in D&D, and D&D does not have a fixed lore, and it has instead different settings that maybe people write up. And the lore of the planes is, or the setting of the planes is where Planescape Torment takes place. My assumption earlier was that D&D had one fixed world and everything took place in that. But that's not the case, seemingly.
Oh, come on, let's shake a leg.
I'm gone.
Well, I mean, you shake a leg.
Okay, shake a leg. Yeah, I think Mort was making a joke there. Yeah, but Planescape setting is where the story takes place. And the different planes, like 9 or so different sections and sigil, everything there has been written by the people who created Planescape setting. And this story is just something that takes place there. And he gave us a detailed explanation of what those, rather relatively detailed explanation of what those planes are, how they are categorized. They're categorized based on not even just physically separate, but also their alignment is different. So there are the upper planes, the lower planes, and the, what is the middle planes called? I don't remember what the middle planes was called, but yeah, but there are 3 planes. The upper planes are for represent good, lower planes evil, and middle planes just neutrality. And then all these 3 planes have 3 variations where you can either be lawful, which is strict and ordered. Whatever they're doing tends to have a strict order. And then there is chaotic, which is the opposite of that. It's very chaotic. Like even though their final goal is same, they achieve it in chaotic ways. So chaotic evil would be really unpredictable but evil. Lawful evil would be like ordered evil, I guess. And then in the middle planes also you have lawful and chaotic, and then there is the neutral one, I think. Neutral good, true neutral. So the neutrality is like it's not too ordered, but it's also not too chaotic, and outlands is in the center, which is true neutral. Uh, yeah, so it's the physical separation of the planes are also corresponds with the, like, even though they are physically separate, they are also separate in terms of their alignment. That's what we understood. Don't know why that corresponds so well, but it does seemingly in the setting. So that's what we got from Candrian. Is there anything left for us to talk to him? Wari watering what is place? Can we tell you of the patrons? Okay, we had an extensive dialogue tree with him about the planes. Who are you? Yeah, so if you ask who are you, you can ask him about the planes and all the different planes. On top of that, we were only talking about the outer planes. The outer planes had actually the three different separations, three different layers and like three different alignments. There are also inner planes and prime material. Okay, inner planes is like the most primal one, it seems like, or like the most it's the innermost one, and from there it flows through, I think, ethereal plane and then reaches prime material, which has all the alive, like live things like monsters, not monsters, like animals and humans and everything else that's in prime material. Then from prime material, based on belief, we have outer planes. There's a whole thing. You can check out the last episode to see what it was. But I have somewhat of a vague idea of what's going on here. Might not be too important, but still was kind of an interesting and fascinating thing to understand. And we also talked to him about Ingress. I think Ingress was the woman who was running around in Sigil trying to find her way back. She has been she came here through a portal, but she can't go back, and she has tried many times, and many of the portals that she tried to escape out through had caused her a great deal of physical disfiguration and pain, and to the point that she's no longer trying, I think. And we were supposed to help her out in some way by maybe finding out someone who can traverse the plains. And this guy, we can't see him properly. It's a translucent body here, but yeah, this Candrian guy seems to know his stuff about the planes, and we had an option to ask him about Ingress, helping Ingress, and we did that, and he agreed. So you're supposed to go talk to Ingress, then come back here, and he would have completed the quest at that point. That's what he said. So we'll follow that up at some point. And I think this guy is called Creeknees. Eric Creek, not Eric Creeknees. Eric, I don't think Eric is a name that would fit here, maybe. But he was something Creeknees. So we can talk to him. I think there are three brothers here, all ending with the same kind of spelling. So we'll go talk to them. There's a bartender, and maybe these two are like people who serve. So yeah, a lot of people to talk to. Barkis, Alais, and Equix. So these three people. Dacon, there is O, there is Drusilla here, and Ignis. We heard about Ignis from a seemingly embellished tale told by this character called Requind just outside the market. We were not sure how much of it we could believe, but seems Ignis is here and he's burning, and his channeling is acting as a portal towards the fire plane, some plane. And Drusilla is uh, his lover apparently, and she's waiting for someone, not waiting as in waiting right now, but in a longer sense, she has been waiting for someone to come put out the fire. What's the word for it? Let me. Okay, see, I have a problem with like remembering words. Uh, who are you? We said burning. I think douse was the word. Douse the flames, right? Someone should be able to find something else. If some, yeah, douse, yeah, there it is. So she is waiting for someone to douse the flames, and maybe we are the one to do it, because there is a annoying thing that this game did, which is we have this journal section, right? It has the beast section where we have player characters and non-player characters. Initially, it was just Mort and Nameless One, and they seem to have added these three people, which we have barely talked to. Anna, we have talked to. We would not have guessed that she would join our party. And Dakon and Ignis are two people in this bar, which we didn't really talk much to. We could observe Ignis. We know some backstory of Ignis, but I wouldn't have guessed that he would join. Like it would be such a fascinating character to have join our party, right? I was thinking that Drusilla may be the one who's joining us, and I checked the journal and Ignis popped up, which is very unfortunate. Uh, which reminds me, we have all the NPC entries to be read out loud at some point. So we will do that once we finish talking to the people in Smoldering Corpse bar, which probably will take quite long, because I don't know how large this room is. Oh no, go back. Yeah, all of this is explorable. I'm not sure how much this map extends. Hopefully just this much. There is some area here. Okay, so let's start talking to people. Is there a way to increase the scrolling speed? That's a good idea. Okay. Candrian and Ebb Creekneys, not Eric. His name was Ebb. These sturdy pylons support the ramshackle roof. These red hot pipes do nothing to alleviate the already warm hair. Okay. There is Dakon, who would also presumably join us at some point. I mean, we'll take anyone at this point, okay? Because we only have two people, and we have been struggling in Trash Warrens and inside Buried Village. So that's why we came back to hopefully recruit some people and maybe get ourselves a proper class, like as in mage. We were fighter earlier, which makes me wonder how we can change this person's class to something else, because fighter seems to be a basic class. You can also level up at any point once we cross the XP requirement. Okay, enough with the summary so far. Oh, so Smoldering Corpse pattern. I guess there'll be random NPCs walking around like this. Okay, let's talk to Ebb Creekneys. You see a slightly stooped old man with full grey beard and a lion's mane of grey hair. He wears a couple of shoulder guards as armor, and he keeps a helmet nearby. He smokes a pipe and carries a pouch of tobacco around his waist. He looks pretty strong, but he's a little plump and also appears to have some sort of breathing trouble. Well, now, aren't you a sight, lad? Now have I seen so many scars blanketing a fella, like a scar cloak you're wearing. Where you been? Hanging out in a grain thresher? He laughs. Oh, I'm just jesting with you, lad. No offense meant. And I hope no offense taken. I'm Ebb. He extends his hand. To refuse to shake is just maybe just straight up farewell. Greetings, Ebb. His handshake is firm. Now, I hereby tender my apologies for the unfair jesting, lad. I hope no hard feelings. Can I buy you a tankard or two of something to smooth any ruffled feathers? Okay, why not? That's a spirit, lad. Bide a moment. He rises to his feet and heads to the bar. After a moment, he returns to his seat with a pair of tankards. Here you go, lad. Drink up. He takes a massive swallow from his own tankard, puffs on his pipe, and says, "What can old Ebb do for you on this fine sigil day?" I had some questions about this place. Oh well, I gathered that just to look at you. Just to look at you. Gathered that just to look at you. I mean, you don't look like you're from around these parts, lad. You look like a little too out of sorts to be seasoned native. Ebb chuckles, then takes another drink. So what? Can I help you So what can I help you with, lad? You need to know the lay of the land? Ebb wings. Should I reduce the volume? I'm so conflicted about the sound being too loud and disruptive. Let me just reduce it slightly, okay? At least you got like what the music sounds like. So I guess we conveyed the point. I don't know how this music, like this slider works. Okay, it doesn't seem linear. It seems like until the very end, it just has a mind of its own, won't reduce, and then suddenly it just stops. Ugh. This is the biggest struggle I had with this game, honestly. Like everything else has been okay so far. Okay, so readings about some questions. Hi lad, what do you want? I'm missing. Who are you? Okay, these two things were missing. Like, who are you? What is the place? Tell me of seniors and notes. What other place can you recommend? Who are you? Eb Creekness, third measure of the harmonium, now retired and being a tout with one's voice, since I don't step as lightly as I might these past 2 or 3 decades. Now lad, who are you and what trouble might you be in? Third measure of the harmonium, now retired and being a tout with one's voice. I don't know what that means. Third measure. Oh, okay. We have the questions to ask these. Okay. I was like, okay, that is something that I'm not aware of. Maybe down the line we'll get to know, but we can immediately ask. Third measure of the harmonium. Ebb puffs up slightly in pride and gets a semi-stern look on his face. Aye, third measure of the harmonium. He relaxed a little. Though I haven't served a tour of duty in many a decade, pushing a quill wasn't quite up my alley after all the fights and skirmishes I've been in. So I just bide my time keeping tabs on things down here in Hive and helping out a little where I can. And you look like someone who might need a hand. Are you in some kind of trouble, lad? Third measure of the harmonium. I don't know what that is. What fights and skirmishes have been in? Heb rolls his eyes. More than I can remember, lad. Well, almost more than I can remember. Least twice. I did an all too long tour in the Blood War, that infernal muck-up war of lies on Terras. Far too many years in Black Century's war. He begins to tick off the wars on his finger and count silently to himself. Then there was a Three Plains War and many others. I even took part in the Harmonium War of Liberation. Oh, towards the end there, I was also in the Sigil City Watch. Some could argue that was the most dangerous of them all. He laughed slightly. The mention of blood war feels like a cold dagger slipping into his heart. Tell me more of blood war. Oblivious to your reaction. Aye, the blood war. The most dangerous family feud decide of the primordial soup. A mean-spirited mob of fiends on one side, a batch of warmonger fiends on the other. It's a war that creation sparked, and they've been digging into each other ever since. This is the lawful and the chaotic people fighting. The Tanari, vicious killers who care for none but themselves, and the Batsu war machine, all for law and order under their infernal rule. The whole mess spills out into other planes from time to time, and it's made the multiverse a less pleasant place to live. I see. Do you know of a man named Farod? Farod? A frowns, takes a pipe from his mouth. Now lad, what you be wanting like the Berk like Farod? I think I used to know him. I think he stole some of my belongings. None of your business. I think I used to know him. Aye, well the more's your misfortune then. May I forgetting some things is better for you then. Ebb puffs heavily on his pipe. Well, the more you misfortune, then mayhap forgetting some things is better for you then. He puffs heavily on his pipe. What do you know of him? Well, I don't know everything there is to know about Old Farod, but I know some of the dark surrounding him. If you're determined to track down that spider and nail him to a wall, then I suppose I could spill some of the chant so you know what you're tangling with. He pauses to tap his pipe. Farod dug his nest deep into Rakpika Square not too long ago, got a bunch of collectors and gangs together, and started what one could almost consider a collecting faction. Be that as it may be. Where can I find him? Well, lad, if you're looking for Farod, which I would say is pretty balmy of you, you're a little off the beaten path. You want to be finding Rakpika Square. Chant is that Farod set up his keep somewhere in the square. Even an old fella like me who has been around the ring a few times, don't know exactly where I. Even an old fellow like me who has been around the ring a few times, don't know exactly where. Don't know exactly where. I figure that Farod wants to keep the dark on his location. If you are all bound and determined to find Farod, go to Rakvika Square. Try and dig up Farod's location from some of the locals. Try and be careful about it since there's plenty in the square that would make a guitar part of you as one as look at you. I had some other questions. So he knows his way around this place. I'm missing a journal. You're missing a journal? Was there more to the journal than just pages and words? Otherwise, I can't imagine too many bloods who would bother themselves with letters unless it was really hot and spicy. Not much use for books of learning around here. I don't know where you might find such a thing. A puffs on his pipe, then he snaps his fingers. But you know, lad, if Farod is the one who scrapped you off to the Sigil Street, then he might know the dark of where your stuff is. It's most likely in his ladder, if you ask me. A dead man is usually in no position to keep his possessions where the collectors stumble across his body. Tell me about Farod. She had some other questions. Who are you? He said he's something to do with the third harmonium. What's a tout? Well, now it's a good thing that you asked because now you have told me that you are green. Now you have told me that you are green and a tout about the best tout. Now that you have told me that you're green and the touts about the best person a clueless could have run into the street of Sigil, and I am just the man someone like you is in need of. This just is confusing me so much. Sometimes it's just JEST and this at this instance it looks like JUST. Uh, he takes a drink. A tout's a friendly city guide, shows you what's what, give you a little jaunt. Oh, so he's being a tout. Friendly city guide. Shows you what's what, gives you a little jaunt around town. A guide is the best way to look at it. Except I don't really leave this chair on account of my age. So mostly I suggest directions and places you might want to see in your travels in our fair city. Don't cost you a cent. Why is it free? A tout who can't move can't command much of a price, lad. By powers, it would be unfair to charge for just a bag of words. How old are you? Old enough to know better, lad, and too old to walk much. He puffs on his pipe. Let's just say my best years are behind me, and there's only a few irons that keep this heart beating. Yep, irons. Well, lad, not to bring down the conversation, but I'm hoping that one day a holy fella will be making his way to the old Smoldering Corpse bar, and hopefully he'll strive me of some of my private sins, so I can go on and step off this plane for good. Let's just say my best years are behind me and there's only a few irons that keep this heart beating. Few irons. Not to bring down the conversation, but I'm hoping that one day a holy fella will be making his way to the old Smoldering Corpse bar and hopefully he will shrive me of some of my private sins so that I can go and step off. What's a shrive? Grand remission of a sin too. Basically absolve his sins. I don't know what this iron is. It's probably a metaphor for something else. I see I had some other questions. Hi lad, what do you want to know? What is this place? Tell me of Sigil and its environs. Who are you? What is this place? Even Smoldering Corpse bar, lad. Not a pretty place as some, but it's got its own homespun kind of charm. Tell me about the patrons here. Well, you got O who claims to be a letter instead of a person. Some mercy killers waiting around for a criminal. Pair of Abishai on furlong from Blood War. A Gitzerai over there who's been watching you from afar. Not unusual, mind you. They're peary cutters. And allies down there A clueless kid whose breeches seem to be just a bit too tight. If you get my meaning. If you are wanting information on the planes, talk to Candrian Ilborn or there. He knows more and most I know. Who's a smoldering corpse there? Him? Oh, no corpse lad. No dead or him. Near as we can tell, all Ignis is still alive inside that little roast pit. Near as we can figure anyway. He can smell damnably awful sometimes too. Keep me on the pipes to make sure it don't worm its way into my nose, it does. He can smell damnably awful sometimes too. Keep me on the pipe to make sure it don't worm its way into my nose, it does. He chuckles. How did he get here? Ebb takes a smoke from his pipe for a moment as if deciding how to phrase his comment. Well now lad, Ignis has had a smattering of problems and some not slight wizardly magics to boot, and seldom do the two mix well, if you understand me. He liked to puffs on his pipes and smoke trails up. Well, he liked to burn things and he started torching places and people, generally making a bunch of trouble. And well, now most of this was going on in the hive, and I'll be first to admit that hive is not the first place the harmonium goes to keep sigils low. Ebb looks a little shamefaced, failing on our part since it may be the place where our presence is most needed. So by the lady's reckoning, there was little street-side justice in the wizardly community. A bunch of tea leaf readers, head wizards and midwife witches got together and managed to weave a spell that was kind of poetic justice. Ebb gestures with his pipe at the figure. So now he sits there and burns. He's still alive, which I don't think they counted on. Who are you? What's this place? Tell me of Sigil and its environments. Well, Ebb puffs on his pipe and studies you. This is perhaps the best keep you could have wandered into from the start. Judging by your tattoos, you might be partial to having designs on your body, in which case there's a tattoo salon little spireward from here. You want to stay away from the alley of dangerous angles if you can. Ignis chose that place not long ago, and ever since a bunch of bad bloods have set up their keep in that stretch. So he does talk about this bar, also about the tattoo parlor on the right side of this bar, like little to the south of this bar. Yeah, I think east of this bar. I had some other questions. Yeah, tell me of Sigil and its environments. Ebb laughs lively. You don't think small, do you? If you want to know what's outside the city, go talk to Candrian Ilborn over there. He's the traveler of this place. As for the rest of it, well, I can tell you of the lady and the dabbers, keys and portals, the way we keep track of time, the way the city is laid out. What's it you want to know? What was it you wanted to know? Actually, other questions. Lady, dabbers, sigils, time, cities, layout, key and portals. Okay, let's ask about lady. Well now, not many know about her lad, and I'm figuring even those that know more, even those that know more than a little don't know too much more. She's a mystery, she is, and even should you run across her, powers forbid, she's silent and deadly. She's not evil, as far as I can tell, but she keeps the dark about herself, and sigil pretty tight. None's been able to penetrate it. If they have been maced. Maced? What do you mean? Sometimes bloods will be packed off to a place where they can't do no harm. The lady, see, she takes a bit of sigil and makes a little dimensional pocket out of it. A mace. She places those that have crossed her in there and let them rot. Now, you can't escape getting maced once the lady sets her gaze on you, lad. She'll get you eventually, no matter how hard you try and dodge her. You'll be walking down an alley or about to step to a portal or take a left turn down a street you've gone manifold times before, and suddenly you're someplace you don't recognize. Now, mazes aren't escape proof. There's always a way out of reach. There's always a way out of each one. A portal the lady places there. You just have to figure out where it is and how to use it. Maybe we'll get trapped in one of these. Seems like a really interesting thing to not utilize in this game. I had some other questions about sigil. So lady and her mace. Go on. Chances are you won't meet her unless you do something really bad. Hurting a lot of people, killing a dabbers, challenging her rule, Worshipping her. Wow, worshipping her is also something really bad. Is it classified as bad? Killing a Davis is something maybe we can try. We don't have an attack option on normal NPCs, right? Or do you think we can click on the A button and like trigger attack on normal NPCs? So we can try killing a Davis at some point to get to talk to her maybe. She hates that we figure, or interfering. She hates that we figure, or interfering with a Dabus's work, which may as well be lady's work. If you're lucky, just the mercy killers will come for you. But if she comes, you'll be dead as soon as her shadow falls on you. Please continue. Now, the lady can do almost anything in Sigil Lad, near as we can figure. Lucky, mercy killer. If she comes, you'll be dead as soon as her shadow falls on you. Now the lady can do almost anything till that near as we can figure. Make it bigger or smaller. Make new portal. Seal off old ones. Make sure the blood war don't break out into the streets. Keep folks from teleporting into the city. Keeping the powers out. What are the powers? It's another way of saying God lad. God's lad. And there's a great horde of them across the plains. Ebb takes a puff from his pipe. They can't come to Sigil though. The lady has a way of keeping them out that she hasn't spilled the chant to yet. Be that as it may, it's kept Sigil from being seized by outside interest. She has so much control over Sigil, but maybe it's the hive area that looks so horrible. Maybe the rest of the Sigil is a bit more well maintained and there's more law and order there. But this place is like the worst city I've ever seen. So maybe she's intentionally keeping it that way. And she can seal off all these portals at any point, right? So why not just seal off everything? Why have this weird system of keys and portals that anyone can get trapped into at any point? Tell me of lady. Tell me of Dabus. Wait, did we... Yeah, that's all. I had some other questions. Dabus. Those funny floating bloods that speak in symbols. Quite a piece of work, eh? The Dabus are kind of the lady's janitors and workmen, doing exactly what she wants. Make sure Sigil's running up to snuff. Doing exactly what she wants. Make sure Sigil's running up to snuff. Patching walls, tearing down old buildings, building new ones, setting up portals, setting off others, sealing off others. Why set up portals and seal off? Like, what is the practical purpose of having a portal is not yet clear to me. I thought that it was some sort of a unique natural thing that happens in this world, in this setting, but she has complete control over them. Then why do all of these things? Why let them exist in the first place? They are a pretty neutral faring bunch, and you don't want to interfere with one or kill one, or you'll bring the lady's wrath upon you right quick. Sigil's time. The way we measure time in Sigil is by the brightness of the sky. See, we haven't got a sun and moon like most worlds. We just got this everlasting haze that brightens and darkness at regular cycles. What most folks call midnight, we call anti-peak. What they call noon, we call peak. See, it's based on the peak and anti-peak of brightness. So when someone says something about 5 hours past peak, that's what they mean. Had some other questions about Sigil. Tell me of the city's layout. Phew. Let me wet my tongue. He takes a pull from his tankard. The city floats above an infinitely tall spire. The spire. It lies on the side like a discarded wagon wheel. It lies on its side like a discarded wagon wheel. Oh, okay. The wheel isn't vertical. It's like lying on its side. Basically, it's a circle which is like horizontal. But there are no spokes that connect it to the spire. It's divided into 6 wards, each of them with its own function. Right now you are in Hive. I think the purpose of Hive is to be the smaller of the rest of the city's grandeur. Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. Factions, philosophical clubs or gangs if you philosophical clubs or gangs if you prefer, divide up the running of the city between them. Hive is like the rest of the city is like relatively pristine maybe, and Hive is where all the refuse gets collected, all sorts of refuse, and we are right, yeah, right in the middle of it. Where are you in a faction? Bryce's hand has stopped you and laughs slightly. Oh no, hold on, lad. I am no has-been faction member. They say, and they are right, that once you are one of the harmonium, you are a harmonium for life. We are the bloods that try and make sure Sigil stays out of trouble. No rocking the spire, no folks getting too over enthusiastic about hurting each other, keeping the city down to a low roar. We try and keep the peace, lad, and most times we do a decent job. What do you mean bring down the spire? Like no rocking the spire. Is that some? Are you just saying that metaphorically, or are people able to like physically damage the spire? Uh, some other questions about Sigil. Tell me of keys and portals. Sigil's called City of Doors for a reason, lad. There's portals everywhere. Portals are well like doors that lead across a multiverse. Except they don't look like doors. Instead, they can be any bounded space, window, door, porthole, picture frame, barrel hoop. The spaces inside scaffolding, a wardrobe, each could be a portal. So it cannot exist in like thin air. It has to be a bounded thing. It has to be bounded in some sense. So I guess I don't know, maybe it isn't that specific. Uh, Instead, there can be any bounded space, window, porthole, etc. Each could be a portal waiting for just the right key to open it and take you someplace in the multiverse. Now, keys, gone. Each portal has a key you need to open it. Now, while portals can be any bounded space, keys have more variety. They can be anything from a little tune in your hum when next to the portal, to a dancing jig, to being in the right mood, to having a piece of the place you want to go in your hand, and on and on. In my youth, I have convinced a girl that kissing a man beside it could open portal to Arcadia. Turned out I was right, and many trips to Arcadia did we have. Many portals probably have never been found. There's some you can uncover just by asking people and getting the right key. Finding out the dark of the portal is the toughest part, but I warn you lad, portal hopping shouldn't be a pastime for a fella in your way. Nor should you be wandering sigil after dark neither. You do best to stick to the main ways in open peak and watch yourself. Okay, I think we asked everything. What are the other places you can recommend? Okay, this we already heard. Okay, I think we have talked enough with him. That took like 30 minutes, it feels like. Maybe a bit less. Allies. Jesus Christ, so many people to talk to. The bar has seen a lot of use. The scoring of weapons and talents does not mask the grim buildup of years worth of drinks that encrust the surface of the bar. Scoring of weapons and talents does not mask the grimy buildup of years worth of drink that encrust the surface of the bar. You see a trim, muscular man dressed in clothing that is comparatively drab and mundane compared to most of the outfits you see in the city. He carries himself with an air of supercilious. We checked this word earlier, but I have already forgotten what supercilious means. Let me check that again. Supercilious. It's just a very arrogant and superior looking, like arrogant superiority or disdain for others. That's what supercilious is. He carries himself with an air of supercilious arrogance. He also looks dramatically out of place. What do you want? He asks. Who are you? I'm Elias, warrior of renown. Surely you've heard of me. No, I don't. Can it truly be? Can it truly be that none in this town have heard of me or my exploits? Alas. I shall have to prove myself all over again. And here I had thought of my fame and had thought my fame had spread across the world. What world are you from? Saturn Tass on some question. I come from the city of Aliburn on the river of time. Surely you've heard of its glories and wonders. No matter, no matter. This place is benighted and ignorant when it comes to the splendors of true cities. I'm told that my land is what is called a prime by dozens of this city. Though a prime of what, I don't know. How did you get here? I was chasing my old foe, the villainous life shade Tir Tanelel. He pauses, waiting for acknowledgement, and then continues. He conjured his demonic magic and opened himself a doorway and hurled himself through it. Before he could flee me entirely, I threw myself after him and found myself here. You are one of the clueless. Wow. That's a clueless. He bristles, reddening, and his hands clutches convulsively around the hilt of his sword. Clueless, is it? I take offense to your words, sir, and bid you farewell in the hopes that we should never cross paths again. He turned away from you, still flushed with pride and rage. I just want to ask you some questions. He sighs heavily and eyes you with disdain. Then be on with it, scarred one. Ask and be done. Let's apologize to him. He appears entirely shocked, as if the notion of apologies is alien to him. You wish to apologize? That's what I said. Then I suppose, as a point of honor, I must accept your apology. Very well. In return, I shall offer my apology as well. And I set the matter aside and speak no more of it. What the hell is this guy? Very well. Could you answer some questions for me? Who are you? Warrior. Actually, we have heard about him at this point. At last, not everyone here is entirely ignorant. I shall allow you to buy me a drink and then we can trade stories. I shall regale you with the finest, with my latest adventures, including tale of how I came to this wondrous, dismaying city. What knowledge do you seek? Who are the patrons of the sand? I have met only the elderly Ebb Creekneys, who has been instructing me in the ways of the city and the plains. He calls plains as Plains, plains. My force spell must have catapulted us far across the world, for I know of no plains near our former location. No, plains, as in planes of existence. They are planes of imagination, of thought and belief. They are not physical prairies or grasslands, but other dimensions. Look of confusion passed across his face. I understand. What the old man said is starting to make sense. Excuse me, I must think this over. Farewell. Wow, did we... Can we talk to him again? Right, listen, I had other questions. I do not know. When I arrived here, I realized I needed a place to regain my bearings. Imagine my shock at discovering that even a simple tavern in this part of the world is populated by eccentrics and crazies. I have truly been transported to a madhouse. I'm afraid that I have not been searching for such items. I'm doing my best to reorient myself to the unfamiliar setting, and while I focus on small details in my attempt to do so, I must confess I have not been looking for journals of any sort. Alright then, answer some question before me. Farod, collector, these names and terms are unfamiliar to me, but if I should hear them mentioned in any other context, I shall certainly remember your face. Indeed, I could not forget it. He seems to be someone like us, but he didn't die, but just came here from some faraway place. Completely clueless. Allies, Barkis and Ilkis. I thought these are going to be brothers because of their names. Let's talk to Ilkis now. You see a short, rotund man with a perplexed expression on his face. From the lines of his loose skin, it looks like it's not too uncommon. He carries a flagon of ale that looks like it's in the process of being emptied rapidly. In between swallows, he speaks in a gentle voice so quiet that you can barely hear his word. Hello, traveler. My name is Ilkis. Can I be of some assistance to you? Greetings, I'd like to ask you some questions. Why did you want to know, my friend? Who exactly are you? Spying man. I am but a humble man with a slight, flowery, poetical bent and a tendency towards the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I should be most eager to teach you of the ways of power. Perhaps some later time? Yes, I'd like that. For now, some other questions. What is he actually? He needs some supplies to make his skills come out. The patterns of this tavern are many and varied. I have spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of those creatures of law. He gestured towards the pair of abyssai sitting on the corner. They taint the air with their presence, leading an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkis. I understand he requires aid with a trifling matter. Barkis is the bartender, is it? Then we have that O character. Literally O character. I'm still trying to understand him fully. It's quite an undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are the folk of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I'm too discriminating. Why do you despise creatures of law? Ah, fine question, my friend. My upbringing has been on the chaotic side of the great ring. You may speak to Candle Inborn, a misnomer if I ill-born, if a misnomer if I've ever heard one, of the plains. He fancies himself a great plain walker. To return from my digression, I have lived many years with chaos and find it pleasantly agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I aim to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. I very much agree. I very much agree. I disagree. I disagree. This place, the Smoldering Corpse Tavern, a fine establishment, a fine owner. Barkis is a true gentleman and ambitious to increase his standing to boot. These, I feel, are the most useful qualities one can possess. They drive people. Who is that burning man? That is the last unfortunate who chose to exercise his individual will without the strength to back up his desires. His name is Ignis, and was a pyromaniac. He burned and burned, and he didn't burn the right people, and wound up channeling more raw power than he could control. Now, well, you see what became of him. If you wish to learn more of him, perhaps that poor creature Drusilla can help you. Nothing. Farewell. Okay. Let's talk to Barkis. Oh, we go around the bar. You see a leather-skinned man with just a hint of ashen color to his face. His teeth seems sharper than normal, and his eyes are filled with the boredom that comes with having seen too much. His voice is nasal and clipped. You again? What do you want this time? You again? What do you mean? Yeah, you again. You got a hearing problem or something now? You was in here about 15 years ago. Got all bubble. 15 years ago? You remember that? You act like I come here every day and make a mess. You again, you got a hearing problem. You was in here about 15 years ago. Got all bubbed up, smashed up the place, and left a pile of coin that wasn't enough to pay for the damages. So plucked out your own bleeding eye. So you plucked out your own bleeding eyeball and tells me you'll be back to reclaim it when you got 200 coins together. So you plucked out your own bleeding eyeball and tells me that you'll be back to reclaim it when you got 200 coins together. With 15 years of interest, you got about 500 coins. You got the Jing Pal? I got your eye. 500, that's ridiculous. Pauses for a moment considering. That it is. Tell you what, give me 300 and eye is yours. Forget it, give me some answers to the questions I had. Hurry it up, Willie. I got paying customers. You said you had my eye, I'd like to buy it back. Yeah. Who are you? Me, I'm Barkis, owner and keeper of this place. What is this place? Didn't you see the sign out front? Didn't you see the Berk burning the furnace when you came in? It's a smoldering corpse, Cutter. Best damn bub house in Sigil. At least it's the best damn bub house in this part of the hive, which makes it one of the best in Sigil. Hell, they got fancy places with plants and such in Ladies' Ward, and they got fiendish taverns salted around the rest of the hive. But none of them got the character of a smoldering corpse. Ignis used to be a flame wizard, burned down pieces of hive and got himself scragged by a bunch of other mages. You wanna know more about him? Go ask Drusilla down there by the door. What is this place? Why can you tell me of the patterns here? I don't make it a point to interfere with the lives of people who give me the hard-earned jing unless they ask me to. So, or there is Kandrian Planewalker. He's a good one to talk to about any planewalking questions you might have. He's been pretty much everywhere. Down there is Ebb Creekness and old Harmonium Basher. Don't hold that against him. And it out. He got a good heart in him and he knows Sigil up and down. Them fronts over there are Aethelgrin and Tegarin. Words of advice, don't deal with them. They might be low rankers in the fiend hierarchy, but they are still fiends. Then you got Equus over there, not trustworthy. And some mercy killers looking for some poor sword. Dakon, the Gitsera, is a mystery to me. Don't know much about him. He don't talk much. Finally, you interested in earning some free bub? Equus was this one, right? He talked to us. He was drinking and he already forgot what he talked to us about. He doesn't trust these people. That was the main thing that we got away from Equus. Was it? Yeah. There's a bubber over there, over against the far wall, hanging about in the shadows, who's been trying to work up her courage to slip out without covering her tab. I want you to make sure she don't do that. You do it, you get free bub here for life. Answer me some questions first. Looking for a journal. Journal, paper and words. Friend, that sort of thing don't get much stock down here in Hive. Folks here can barely read the sign above the door, much less an entire journal. If you're looking for a journal, you do better to have a system instead of asking folks willy-nilly. Thanks for the unasked for advice. Answer a different question. That wasn't even that rude though. You just asked us there's a better way to do this than asking everyone. He turns and spits on the floor. Farod, you may as well just turn your back and let him sink a dagger in it. Though from the looks of you, you already have. If you're dead set on finding Farod, pardon the pun, talk to Ebb Creekness over there. He should know something of value. Let's buy back the I-500. It's ridiculous. We got our eyeball back. It's a deal. He produced a darkened, wax-stoppered, wide-mouthed bottle from his pocket. He's been carrying it around in his pocket all this time. What the hell? You hear the sound of liquid sloshing around inside it, along with a heavier, squishier noise. Opening it, the stench of some sort of preservative agent nearly makes you gag. Floating in the viscid muck is an eyeball. You better figure out what you want to do with that. Now you've exposed it to air, you might as well put a pickled egg in the jar for all the good it'll do. Make up your mind, Cutter. Pickled egg or not. Watch it rot. Tear out your eyeball and place this one in the socket. Sure. With a moment's hesitation, you reach into your socket and pop your eye into the palm of your hand. The bartender helpfully severs the optic nerve and directs your hand to the jar of goo that sits on the. What the hell is happening? Oh my god. Jar of goo that sits on the bar. You deposit your eye in the preservative, wrap your fingers around the old one, and slide it into your empty socket. The pain of this entire operation is incredible. After a few moments, incredible. You not like won't even work if you have a normal human physiology, I think. But apparently we don't have that. After a moment, though, you can feel the optic nerve reattaching itself to this new eye. Suddenly, you are hit by a flash of memory. Absorb it. Memory flash, a vast expanse of chaotic, ever-changing wasteland stretching before you. A group of humanoid vultures plummeting toward you, cruel weapons ready to strike, and your own shining blade clutched tight in your fist. Memory flash. Three toughs surround you, in the colors of an enemy you can't quite place. Long daggers glisten in their hands, and the light glints cruelly from their exposed teeth. You glance at your scarred hands and know that they'll soon be covered in blood. Memory flash. An enormous frog-like creature comes bounding over, through, under, chaos stuff, headed for you with a mouth full of teeth. You hurl your javelin through the shifting matter and pin the creature to a sudden stone plinth. You have recalled some of your lost fighting skills. Proficiency points increased permanently. Jesus. Horrifying experience. A horrifying thing to do. Experience itself may not have been. Looking for forward. Forget farewell. Jesus Christ. Mercy killer, mercy killer. Is this the Abysai? Abysai should be someone else, right? You're taking so much time to get through these conversations. And see, we lost a little health too, plucking out our eye like that. Let's look at our statistics. I don't know what proficiency points are. Proficiency, attack or number of attacks lower. I guess these are the proficiency points. I feel like something's missing, something inside. I don't know what. We haven't met Farod yet, so we can't look at him here. Lady of Pain. Look, it's her face. Lady is a mystery. She's widely regarded to be the de facto ruler of Sigil, its protector, and its victim. She's said to guard the doors of the cage against myriad schemes of the gods, to be the ultimate expression of balance in the multiverse, to be the prisoner of the city of doors. There are thousands of stories about her. One even tells that she's actually 6 giant squirrels with a headless robe and a ring of Leviathan and illusions. But none of them can be answered. She is true enigma, a puzzle with no solution. If someone displeases her by upsetting the balance of the city or worshipping her displeases her. You have to completely ignore her existence. We have to be very passive towards her. Otherwise, she will punish us. Her punishment ranges from mazes, a twisting, turning hell with a cleverly disguised exit, to the casting of her shadow across the transgressor. That's a literal casting of the shadow. Covering him with slashes and gouges from her sharp-edged shadow, leaving behind a pile of gore and viscera. Neither option is particularly attractive. Okay, so when they say casting her shadow, maybe it literally means that, she casts her shadow over us, that physically slices us into this gore and viscera. We'll look at the rest later. I was here to just look at quests and see find Farod. You know, Farod is double coated like this. From what Mod read from the directions tattooed on my back, I need to find someone named Farod. Not certain where to start looking. Hopefully asking some of the locals in this strange place will allow me to track him down. Find the source, again quotes, Farod's bodies for Emmerich. I spoke with this man named Emmerich who not only knew the collector Farod, but he was suspicious of Farod's fresh supply of corpses that he was dropping off at the mortuary. I offered to look into the matter, and Emmerich promised to reward me for finding out where the corpses were coming from. So this should be the Abysai. I don't know what a mercy killer pattern is. Okay. Thankfully it is in too large. This should be the lady whom we should... she was trying to slip away. So we should talk to her and get some money back to... Oh, wait, she walked in and talked to us. She was walking towards us. What the hell? You see someone dressed as a female Desmond with a half-empty glass in her right hand. As you near her, she calls to you. You are here. You notice that there's something wrong about her, and your exposure to Desmond leads you to believe that she's just too lively to be a real member of the faction. Rocha. Hey Cutter, buy a lady a drink. You're not a Desmond, are you? Barky says it's time to settle your tab. Pay up. Very well, here are 5 coins. Who are you? What's this place? Tell me. We're gonna really grill her first, you know, before she does whatever she's gonna do to us. Who are you? Me? I'm Moshai. I just like to drink here, and she loses her train of thought momentarily. I'm just a person, you know. Jesus Christ, that is such a suspicious thing to say. I see. Answer something else for me then. What is this place? Smoldering Corpse Tavern. Can't you read? You more bub than I am. Don't know, they're just people. I don't really deal much with people unless they are buying me a drink. She looks at you hopefully. Who's a burning corpse? He not a corpse. He some crazy wizard. Ask around, they'll tell you the story. What is her deal? You're not really a dustman, are you? She looks around nervously, seems to sober right up. Why do you say that? Because you don't act like a dusty. You are not offering contracts. In fact, you're taking money instead of giving it out for that corpse labor there at the mortuary. She stifles a squeak of terror and hastens to explain. No. I'm not a dustman. I just found these ropes in the street and I didn't have enough money to get good clothes, and I heard there was a dustman thief around here. But you could probably find him somewhere else in the southwest part of the hive. I saw him, but I hid from him. Please don't hurt me. What do you want to know? Barkis says it's time for you to settle your tab. Pay up. She jumps a little, and her nervous tension becomes full-fledged anxiety. What are you going to do? Nothing yet. Answer the questions for me. Who are you? Ask you to go pay up. What are you going to do? Ask you to go pay up. Now, I can't afford it. Can you spot me just 10%? I give it to him and he knows I'll pay the rest. Can you think of another way to pay him? Another way to pay? Huh, she's my salary. You could always kill me. I could, but I'd rather find another solution. I think I need 100 coins to get started on that debt. Can you think of another solution? She needs 100? Jesus Christ. That's like phew, so much. In this economy, that's like so much money. I ask you to go pay up. Glances briefly towards the door, almost as if she's weighing her chances of dashing out. Sighs heavily as she realizes there is no chance and begins to walk glumly towards the bar. My thanks, I suppose. Don't mention it, and don't even think about heading for the door until you're paid up. She's going to walk towards the bar. Wow, look at her walking towards the bar. Let's talk to one of the patrons. I think this patron speak we are going to stop. This is a woman with a far off cast to her face. She is not exactly young, nor is she exactly old. Perhaps it's an expression of slight disbelief that is across her features. The expression says that she doesn't believe her senses. When she focuses on you, she speaks sharply but not angrily. Do you need something? I'm Kiara's Thorntongue. I'm here with my cousin because my uncle doesn't want me wandering the hive on my own. He doesn't seem to think I'm competent on my own. He may be right. I don't know the city or this place very well. I'm not from here. I'm from the Prime. The Prime? What's that? She cocks her head and looks at you oddly. The Prime material plane. The place where the belief the outer planes are shaped of is born. The world. Stars, moons, and so forth. Belief and reality. Sure, I sure hope you know what the prime is, because it's an essential part of planar knowledge. Hmm. I thought this was just going to be a generic conversation because her name was Smoldering Corpse Pattern, but seems like it's not that simple. Kiara's Thorntongue. You are from the Prime? Visiting, expanding my horizons. The Prime is a fine place to live, but it's a little too real, I suppose. My uncle gives each of his nieces and nephews a few years in the plains and allows us to remain here if we so desire. I think I might so desire. I am fascinated and repelled, but I suppose that's the nature of the plains, isn't it? Ask away. I'll answer if I can. This is such a stupid question. I wish this question would just go away. That we don't have to keep asking it. Sorry, I'm new in town and I can assure you I haven't seen anything that I recognize as a journal. Though I'm told that something that appears to be a person could in actuality be the journal for some other creature. I'm still trying to get my head around the philosophy here. It's a little overwhelming, but they say if you stick with it, it becomes much easier. Ask away. I'll answer if I can. A collector? I don't believe I heard of the term. Is that one of those hollows of the dead? The poor folk who collect hives, innumerable victims for money? Yeah. From what I understand, they mostly congregate in the areas of the hive that are farther from the mortuary, where there is more life and more violence. Your best bet might be to concentrate your search away from the house of the dead. She's a very intelligent person, it seems like. Uh, and they congregate in the areas of the hive that are farther from the mortuary, where there is more life and more violence. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, as we reach mortuary, like things seems to calm down, or it would have that effect, right? Because there are more desmen there. There's a bit more order. What can you tell me about this place? This is, I understand, the Smoldering Corpse Tavern, named after that fellow near the entrance from what I can see. From what I can see, it's a dive where scum mixes with the cream to create an entirely unappetizing new flavor. Of course, being the prime, my perception might be jaundiced. She's too, like, yeah, don't really like her. Let me search what jaundiced means. Jaundice. a rough and bitter manner. Distort adversely. Adversely distorted. It's a distorted perception that she has. That's possible. The things are not always as they seem. Can you answer some questions? What does that mean? Can you tell me about this place? Visiting, expanding. Okay, same question. Who is that burning by the entryway? That is Ignis. He attempted to burn down a portion of the city sometime back, centuries, and was punished by being turned into a living flame. So this is the problem. Like, I'm not sure if maybe she's mistaken about centuries, but if centuries is true, then is Drusilla centuries old? Or did she fall in love with him after he was like placed here? No, actually, because I mean, if we can trust Drusilla, she said that he was aware of her and he loved. Like she said that he loved the flame more than her. So they were probably in contact and talking at some point. I'd like to ask more questions. The uncle CLN and I share. The uncle CLN and I share is a wizard who makes his home here. He brings his relative to the plains on occasion to show them the delights and horrors of the multiverse. I want to be sure I was ready for the trip, so I prepared myself extensively. I probably know more about city than my cousin who lived here his entire life. She gestures disparagingly at the man nearby. That's quite an uncle. Can I ask some questions? Disparaging. Low opinion. She has a low opinion of the cousin here. What is that you and your friend were saying about Sigil? He's not my friend, he's my cousin. He was just telling me that this is in the center of the multiverse, despite it being located smack in the middle of the Outlands, despite it being the focal point of the portals from all over the cosmos. There isn't a known place with more despite being the focal point of portals from all over the cosmos, there isn't a known place with more. Despite all the quarreling the gods do over it, despite the sheer variety of concentration of power that accumulates here, there is no place like this in the cosmos, and he's telling me that it's nothing special. Perhaps you're correct, but I find that such relativism is often beyond me. Either the place is important or it's not. Paradox may fuel the planes, but there must be sense to it somehow. Not necessarily, but I haven't time to argue this right now. Instead, I would like to ask more questions. Not necessarily, but I haven't time to argue this right now. Instead, I would like to ask more questions. Not necessarily, but I haven't time to argue this right now. Instead, I'd like to ask more questions. Ask away, I'll answer if I can. We did ask everything, right? Collectors. She doesn't know the term collector, but she knows about the concept of dragging bodies to the mortuary for money. Okay, so we should talk to this person also before we stop, because they come as a pair. They'll forget the context of conversation if we skip it to the next episode. So let me get through this conversation also. There is a slightly balding man with a cynical cast to his face. He speaks in staccato voice, rapping out each word distinctly and clearly. What do you want, Cutter? Staccato voice. What's a staccato voice? Staccato. Marked by or composed of disconnected parts of sound. It's a disconnected voice. What do you want, Qatar? Who are you? I am looking for a journal. If I fall any forward, tell you it's burning entryway. Okay. Who are you? I am Cillian Iron Toss. Cillian Iron Toes. Before you ask, I got the name because my idiot brother dropped a 50-pound stone on my feet and crushed my toes. Now I have Iron Toes, alright? Alright, I suppose. What would you like to know? I haven't seen one, at least not one that stuck out in mind. If it wasn't valuable, try the trash mounts on the opposite side of the hive. I sympathize with your plight. Journals are very essence of identity. They keep us aware of our past and help us plot our future paths. I always keep a journal myself, and I find I'm a better person because of it. He says this last with self-satisfied relish. Uh, you're not kidding. What would you like to know? I'm looking for a collector furrowed. A collector, isn't that one of those nasty dead hollows? I don't associate with that type. This is in my ward really, so I've never heard of him. So he's coming here. They do seem out of place here. Not like in appearance. Everything merges together in appearance here. I can't really distinguish between what's a high-born person and a low-born person. But yeah, these people seem to be more educated than the normal folk here in the hive. What is your ward? I live in the ladies' ward with my uncle. It's generally a better class of people there, if I may say so myself. None of the riffraff that you see floating around here so much. No, I would say that coming to this area is definitely slumming. I can't say I enjoy it, but then I am told one should experience a wide variety of life's offerings. I'm just about done with this one. Slumming. What's a slumming? Spend time at a lower socioeconomic level than one's own, motivated by curiosity or desire for adventure. Usage considered condescending and insensitive. Yeah, they are condescending and insensitive. Even though they have like a very educated veneer, that condescension does shine through because they are young, apparently, I imagine. They're way too smart for their own good, or like, yeah, I think they know more than they have experienced. Ladies Wada, very well. I'm just about done with this one. Awesome. So confident. What would you like to know? Who are you? Looking for a journal? What can you tell me about this place? This Smoldering Corpse. I brought my greenhorn, clueless prime cousin here to see one of the sights, smells, and sounds of sigil beauties. So far, she remains unimpressed. These both have like such high opinions of themselves, at least internally. I can see why. Can you tell me something else? Is that burning? Chant has it that the unfortunate fellow goes by the name of Ignis burned down a portion of the hive before the folks here got together. And took care of him. They made him a conduit to the elemental plane of fire. Now he has to ride there for folks' amusement. Not too amusing, but interesting certainly. See, elemental plane of fire isn't something we are unaware of. It's actually the one of the elements in the inner planes. Inner planes had the two poles. I forgot what the poles was. One was like nothingness, which kind of disintegrated Mr. Candrian there. The other, I forgot. Maybe it's light and dark. I forgot what the two planes were, like the two poles were. But yeah, fire was one of the four elements. So it is that plane that they are referring to. Not amusingly, but interesting. They made him a conduit to the elemental plane of fire, and now he has to ride there for folks' amusement. Not too amusing, but interesting certainly. Yeah, he has like an educated, like cold veneer towards most ideas, which it isn't. Yeah, it's just he's just too young to have a more mature take on things. He just calls it interesting and maybe thinks he's too cool to pay more attention to. Like that's a feeling I get from people like this, but definitely it could be just me thinking, unnecessarily. It certainly is. Can you tell me something else? What about this place? My cousin, he stresses the word as if to emphasize that he has no choice in his acquaintance. Has recently come here from our backwater prime world. My uncle has a uncle, a renowned wizard, brought her here to expand her horizons. She labors under the delusion that this is the center of the multiverse. She thinks it's somehow important. Since I have lived here my whole life, I know otherwise. It's a place that powers and plainborn overlook, just as humans overlook the squirrels in the city parks. It's not important, and sooner the humans come to realize they are not important, the better off they'll be. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, we're back. My cousin is just the word as if to emphasize. Yeah, humans overlook the squirrels in their city parks. It's not important, and the sooner humans come to realize they are not important, the better they'll be. Really? I'll have to hear her justification for this. In the meantime, can you answer some other questions for me? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, let's. Oh, Mocha is slowly walking across, which isn't something I have seen too much. You think we can see her talk to Mr. Bark is here? Here, some money. I'll bring in more later. Wow, that is so interesting. You'd better, or I'll send him after you again, so that I can lend her more. That is terrible idea. Okay, I think the quest, little quest here complete. We'll stop for now. Do a quick save and proper save. Okay, let's resume live. We are going to explore the rest of the Smoldering Corpse bar, talk to everyone there, and just kind of clean up that area. It's a lot of talk.
Stronger. All right.
Okay, so if you remember right, this woman who was standing over here, not paying her tab, was also stolen some sort of a dustman cloth. Yeah, she's not a real dustman. She has been. Yeah, she was gonna leave without paying the tab, but we caught her red-handed, and this barkeep here asked us to maybe convince her to pay her tab. She didn't have money anyway, so we had to lend her like 100 commons, which hopefully she will return to us sometime. So that's that. Barkis, Ilquis, Allies. This guy is completely lost, I think. This guy is just another pattern. I thought these three are going to be brothers, but not the case. I think these two have the same character model, but yeah. Let's talk to another pattern. You see a scruffy, ill-kept man smells strongly of alcohol. Yeah, what do you want? He leans in close and looks you up and down. Looks like you could use a healer. He laughs loudly at his own poor humor. A nauseating stench of liquor and poorly chewed food washes over you. Who are you? Me? Amandor. He weaves on his feet. Uselta be a hell of a fight, man. Used to be a hell of a fight man too, but that is before the bub took hold of me. Friendly called me Slappy because I was good at doing it to people, but now they call me Slappy because so many women do it to me when I talk to them. It's great. Can you answer some questions for me? What do you need? Journal. Well, if you lost in the hive, it's a good chance some collector somewhere has it. Check out in the hives more. They find all sort of stuff out there. Maybe they can help you. Farod. Farod. Name sounds fairly familiar, but you know how it is when you don't pickle your head with bub. I'm sure. I just can't remember. You got my apologies, Scar. This place, Smoldering Corpse, best place in town for a drink. Leastways, long as you don't mind drinking near a fiend or two, nor if you don't mind death, Red Death poking their heads in on occasion. Lots of people here, lots of interesting things. Lots. I assume you're one of the attractions then? Answer some of the questions. Attractions. What do you need to know? What can you tell me about this place? Who's that burning in that area? That's Ignis. He's some crazy old cool mage who's got his bright idea to burn down the hive. You see the Alley of Dangerous Angles? He's done that. He done that. Group of wizard got together, did some magics on him, and now he's a tavern theme thing. Mascot. My cousin was one of the wizards. No great shakes as a mage, but he sure got his berk. That's great, Slappy. Answer some other questions. Sorry. No great shakes as a mage. Good day. So, are these the fiends, Mercy Killer patrons, or are these the fiends? There are two people here. So, we have to check out these things. Then we need to talk to Dakon and Ko. So, those are the things remaining. This metal table is carved with talons, knives, teeth, and the marks of innumerable tavern brawls. Like the air around it, it's warm to the touch. Okay. So, let's talk to Mercy Killer patron. I'm going to look for that bark again. An armored behemoth. This man is huge. So it is a man. He also seems to have a very keen eye. It misses nothing that transpires around him. It also seems like it has no interest in speaking to you. Hello? The man stares at you as if you were some form of bug. He stares at you, blinking slowly. He turns his head, then dismissing you without speaking a word. Hello? You hear a subterranean rumble beginning deep in the man's chest. He lightly strokes his weapon and stares at you with renewed interest. Subterranean rumble deep in the man's chest. Just grunting at us. If that's the way you want to be, farewell. It'd be nice to just attack him and like make a mess of this place. Show the second pattern. You see a lad who's barely looks a day over 18. His face seems to betray some tension. Help you get up? Look for journal collector. Who are your friends here? You can tell me about this place. What are you doing? Who are you? I'm Celeb. I'm a mercy killer. I'm here with Tanner and Ilsidon to catch my first criminal. What can you tell me about mercy killers? Well, sorry, I have to get used to saying that now. Well, sorry, I have to get used to saying that now. Believe that justice is okay. He was just referring to them in plural. Maybe he have to use I or he have to say us instead because now he's part of the killers. Believe that justice is the most important thing in existence. I believe that without justice there is no meaning, and without meaning we might as well just go off and kill ourselves. I just don't want to kill myself. So I decided justice is the meaning. If you want to know more, you ought to ask one of these other two or find one of the recruiters. They talk your ear off. I might do that. Answer some questions for me first, will you? This one doesn't seem to talk. What do you want to know? Looking for a journal. A journal? No, sorry, I'm still new here. Not all that connected yet. If I see one, I'll let you know. He looks around the bar. What are you doing? Well, seeing as I'm a new mercy killer, I'm supposed to bring a criminal just to show how I can handle the field work. I decided I wanted to catch a killer, so we asked around and got told that he was going to be here. Still, I haven't seen him though. I'm a little nervous to tell the truth. If you'll excuse me, I really ought to get looking at the faces here. He cranes his neck and looks around the bar. Wow, okay. Just a few more questions in. How do you know a killer's gonna show up here? Who are your friends? They're people who are here to make sure I don't foul up this assignment. Tanner's the old one. Ilsidon's the one who's here to make sure I do the job right. And to give me support if I need it. He swallows noisily. I hope I won't. Answer a couple of questions for me, William. Can't say a word of him. Is he a criminal? Maybe we'll pick him up later. My thanks for the tip-off, citizen. I just need to find him, not get him killed. Can you answer some other questions? My pleasure. Let me know before you kill him if you catch him. What can you tell me about this place? This place, it's a Smoldering Corpse. I think they named it after the guy near the entry. It's a place where criminals and lowlifes hang out. Still, there's some cutters here who know what they're talking about. Some of them are those fiends though, and I don't like to deal with them. I feel like they're staring right at my soul. Okay, I'd like to talk to some of these. Isn't this Abyssai? Abyssai looks like these creatures, right? I understand. Can you answer me some other questions? What are you doing? Okay, let's see a few more questions. Why did we skip? We're friends. Okay, we skip this. Has your killer shown up yet? No, not yet. But Tana says that this is where the criminal is supposed to come eventually. So now we play the waiting game. Right. So is Tanner trying to assess if you can even detect the killer in the first place? Maybe Tanner knows that he shows up here. They are the people who are here to make sure I don't foul up this assignment. Tanner's the older one. Ilsen's the one who's here to make sure I do the job right. Stuff left to you. Okay, let's talk to this person. This is... forgot his name already. Caleb. He was Caleb. Okay. Then there is Tanner and Ilsidon. You see a grizzled burly man in spiked armor. He eyes you coolly and slowly up and down, evaluating you. He pauses for a time on your face, almost as if it jogs the memory somehow. He sighs, then says, "Can I help you with something, friend?" Okay. Who are you? Me? I'm Tanner. What's with the outfit? It's a uniform of a kind. We are the Red Death, Mercy Killers. We are the Justice folks. We are the justice folks. Someone commits a crime, we bring him to justice. We right the wrongs too. You want to know more? Go talk to one of the recruiters. This is a recruiter. Caleb is a recruiter, is it? Fair enough. I don't know why he is so kind to us about asking something of this question. This answer should be obvious to everyone here, right? Since mercy killers, I presume, are like popular enough for like it should be known to everyone, right? Do you recognize me? I thought I did, but those pictures are centuries out of date and the suspect would be dead by now. Of course, these are the planes and stranger things have happened. Still, if you're the fella I'm thinking of, it looks like you've been served your sentence by means of pain. Okay. See, he possibly recognizes us, but people keep talking about centuries. Like, do these people exist for centuries? These are indeed the planes, so we don't know what the lifespan of a normal person here is and how it varies, and presumably centuries isn't a big number, but yeah, out of date picture from centuries ago looks similar to us, and he was a suspect, we were a suspect back then. Yeah, possibly he's saying that we had justice has been served maybe by means of pain, just seeing it our scars. What can you tell me about this person you're talking about? It was a particularly brutal criminal from what I understand. This was, of course, centuries ago. Immense strength, they said, and enough anger to tear the head from a barrier. So barrier is not the name of the little centaur-looking creature. Maybe it's just a race as a whole. Not a sword to be messing with. Word is he got himself surrounded by a Red Dead patrol, escaped through a portal, and hasn't been seen since. He frowns, studying you. There are pictures of him. Take away some of the scars and you might be related to him. Probably not him though. Sounds like a nasty fella. I have some questions for something else. I had some questions about something else. What do you want to know? Who are your friends here? They are Caleb and Ilsdon. Caleb's a new meat, a new recruit. Ilsdon's some muscle. I'm the brains. A recruit. He said, why you are all dressed the same? It's a uniform for kind we are Red Death. Okay, I should have asked the first question. Who are your friends? What are you doing here? We are waiting for a criminal. This will be eager Caleb's first arrest if the Berk were we are waiting for ever shows up. What are you, some kind of police force? Is this what your armor is? A uniform? It's a uniform of a kind. We are the Red Death, Mercy Killers. We are the Justice folks. Okay, fair enough. I'm looking for a journal. I see far too much on the main streets of Sigil from Mrs. Journal or something spectacular. Chances are good I ain't seen it. Very well then, do you have answers to other questions? See this farewell question. This is like not taking me off. Like this is causing me concern. Like every time there's a question, the way to back out of it, the farewell question, like farewell response, is modified to respond to whatever is being said here. So it's not a generic thing, you know. It's a lot of writing. What do you want to know? You're looking for him, huh? From the tone of your voice, I'm betting it won't be a quick drink down the local tavern either. See, I know Farod of old is a slippery one, he is, and it'll be a time before we can pin something on him. Problem is, only a fanatic like Waylord, only a fanatic like Waylord cracked the guy without even shred of. Problem is, only a fanatic like Waylord would crack the guy without even a shred of proof. That's all a long way of saying I don't know where the sword is, but you ought to know he's a suspect, and it won't do you any good to be seen with him. Problem is only a fanatic like Waylor would crack the guy without even a shred of proof. So the Farod is a slippery one, and this Waylor, I guess, is someone in Mercy Killer Patron who is a bit of a loose cannon maybe, and he would maybe try to scrag the guy. I don't know what scrag means. Maybe just arrest the guy without try to arrest the guy without any proof. And we know that Farod is someone who played with the books so much. I think it was Requin who mentioned that Farod Farod tricked everything and the books to the point that he tricked himself or something like that. Now he's in the buried village maybe, or somewhere near the trash areas, looking for something that can effectively change his fate, because he saw that he had a bad fate, he had a premonition maybe. Then he tried to seek out advice from a lot of seers and uh, people who can, like, yeah, maybe help him get out of his fate. And they said that he can find something in the trash maybe, and he's probably holed up there trying to figure out, trying to maybe find out what's in the trash. Thanks for the advice. Thanks for the dark, friend. What's a dark? What do you want to know? Tell me about this place if you would. It's a smoldering corpse. This place is full of portals and such, but then that's of most anywhere in Sigil. Good cheap drinks, and if you don't mind the company of bubbers and fiends, it ain't a bad place to be. You want to know more about the place? Talk to the bartender or something. Stand. Did you recognize me? Yeah, I think we went through the questions. Let's talk to Ilsidon again. Is he going to do something? He was just walking away in this direction. Maybe he's just patrolling here. Going here, coming back, looking at people. The man stares at you as if he were some sort of bug. He stares at you blinkingly. Talk to me, or I'll have your heart, you lumbering tinny. I wonder what will happen if we like respond to this. Is everyone going to aggro to us? I want to try it out, so let's quick save. Okay, quick save, please. Okay. And talk to Mr. Angry Person. You hear a subterranean rumble beginning deep in the man's chest. Oh, there is no way to provoke him enough to attack us. We have to initiate the attack. So, I don't think it's gonna do any good. See? Damage 11.
Damn.
Yeah, we're not gonna survive this. Let's
I
load
feel
again.
stronger.
Okay. Aethelgrim. You see a scaled fiend who looks very similar to the one standing next to him. In addition to the pierced left ear, both are black-hued and reptilian, with bat wings tucked against themselves. This one is missing a tooth on its right side. Ah, Tegerin, it says. Our old friend has returned to pay us a visit. Jesus. So he has, Aethelgrim, so he has. Yet his eyes do not gleam as once they did. What do you suppose brings him back to us? What does bring you back to us, friend? We don't have a way to directly address how they know us. So let's go with these questions. Again, time has robbed us, robbed our companion's memory. You honestly do not recall us, do you? Truly, I am aggrieved. Aggrieved. But, as I am, Teregrin, truly aggrieved. As am I. Yet I rest easy. It has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Yes, I wonder how long someone's time span is here. Well spoken, old friend. We are a pair of Abysai on leave from our current assignment in Bator. I am Chegarin, the thrice damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation. This is Ethelgrin, who has earned himself no special name, though not for lack of trying. Lack of trying, what do you mean? Ethelgrin ignores you as it responds to its companion. And once again, Tegarin, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter, though perhaps it's best not to have earned the sort of notice one bearing the name Thrice Damned must surely have incurred. What whispers to you? Boss, I don't like this. They're not supposed to be here. The Blood War hasn't kicked the Celestials' asses bad enough that any fiend can go. The Blood War hasn't kicked the Celestials' asses bad enough that any fiend can go on furlough. They want something. Tread carefully. In the meantime, Tegarin continues to respond to its companion. They're already fighting a war somewhere in this Bator region. I think this was the. I don't think people did talk about Blood War. I don't exactly remember the context. Maybe it was about the lawful and chaotic good people, or maybe evil people. War between them. That's the only thing I remember. Yeah, and they don't get to go on furlong. Furlough, not furlong. Furlong's a measure of distance. Furlough is just like going on vacation or something. Furlough, especially from military duty. Furlough. Let's check what furlough is. A period of unpaid time off used to reduce cost to the employer. Temporary leave of absence from military duty. Okay. Furlough can be, yeah, unpaid time off to reduce cost or time off from military duty. They want something, yeah. The Blood War hasn't kicked Celestial's asses bad enough that any fiend can go on furlough. So Blood War has, maybe it's between Celestials and fiends, and it's not, they are not in such a good state that they can just take furloughs. So Mort is aware of this and is saying that they want something, they're not just chilling here. Yeah, these people seem to be talking amongst themselves. It is, in its turn, Tegarin ignores you as it replies to its comrade. Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all. The Abhishek turns back to you. Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities? And some other questions. Some questions, perhaps you have answers. We are certainly eager to aid you, old friend. What are you doing? What are we doing? This is, well, why? Is it not perfectly clear, old friend? We are on leave from a beloved assignment, taking for ourselves some much needed rest and perhaps inducing some additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. I can't get a read on these people, okay? It's like so alien, even they're like, yeah. It's in a more immediate sense, we are taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment, and of course, we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes, which occasionally waft the scent of goodness in the door, debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air in this part of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree? Again, the fiend smiled broadly at you. Stench of breezes. They're here because it's in a horrible place and they enjoy it. Add some other questions. Okay. What is this place? This is a Smoldering Corpse tavern, one of the more entertaining taverns your kind has seen fit to erect in the city. The poetic justice of the burning fell at the front of the establishment is really quite a fine touch. Was there something else you wish to ask? Tell me about fiends. Tell me about fiends. As we see, there are two kinds of fiends: those who are correct and those who are not. Our side, that is of the Batisu, is correct. The other side, that of the curse-hated chaotic Tanari, is incorrect and must be exterminated. So this is between fiends. Like this hatred is being mentioned here is between fiends. It is not between fiends and celestials. So blood war is it something else? Is celestials is not Tanari, right? We hold the Tanari directly responsible for the blood war. Were it not for them, we could have settled the lower planes. We could have settled the lower planes in peace and wouldn't have all the bother of fighting this wretched war. Nor would the unfortunate spillovers into other planes be such a cause for concern among the namby-pamby do-gooders. The Tanari is directly to blame for the multiverse's sad state of affairs. So blood war might not be between them, but uh, yeah, but they are blaming Tanari for having excited it. And they are talking about lower planes, so they are the evil, the lawful evil and chaotic evil people. That's not really okay. What were we asking? Tell me about fiends. That's not really what I was asking. I want to know what differentiates you from them. Okay, be more specific. That's what he said. Fiend pauses a moment and then brightens. Ah, yes. You see, we represent law and order. Those who break the law must be punished. If we have no law, we have no. We have only anarchy. And surely you can see what anarchy has done for the abyss. It has spawned horrors beyond imagining. Any excesses that Batasu state may have indulged in are simply to counter the rising of the tide of any excesses that Batasu state have indulged in are simply to counter the rising tide of chaos represented by the Tanari. We mean no harm to anyone, we just prefer to understand where the boundaries are. Okay. So the Tanari are the evil people, and I don't like their fundamental like their fundamentals of like what evil is, right? I don't know what that is actually. They talk like very you know very polite and very educated way, but I think maybe they have a coldness about everything. Like they talked about the horrors being appealing to them, right? So maybe that is the foundational thing about evil that they don't even. Yeah, we will have to see more of these people to understand. Yeah, but they're saying that the excesses that they have indulged in, so Batasu state that they came from, the excesses, probably the excess law that they are indulging in is just to counter the tide of all the chaos that Tanari is creating. We just prefer to understand where the boundaries are. I had some other questions. Do you know of a collector named Farod? Farod, I've heard the name. Is he not a sage of some sort? A necromancer? Or is he a diviner of rubbish? I've heard of him, friend, but do not have the pleasure of his company. Perhaps one of the other patrons here can help you? Perhaps. I have other questions. Looking for a journal. I keep no journals, friend, and I counsel that you should not either. Ask my dear comrade Tegerin why, and you shall receive enlightenment. Hmm. Why is a journal bad for a friend? Why are they considering journals as bad? Very well, Tegerin. Why should I not keep a... Oh, we can ask directly. I was just going to say we'll have to escape this, like, get rid of this conversation and then go talk to Tegerin, but we can ask him directly. Because, friend, it's easy to make the mistake of committing a true word to posterity, and easier still for someone you once trusted. Committing a true word to posterity. And here he shoots a glance of full venom at Edelgrim. To find that word and use it against you, indeed it can even lead to actions tantamount to desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can cost you your very existence. Committing a true word to posterity and easier still for someone. Mistake of committing a true word to posterity and easier still for someone you once trusted. Easier still for someone once you trusted to find that word and use it against you. Indeed, it can even lead to actions tantamount to desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can cost you your very existence. They're saying that since we write down everything in a journal, someone can like look at it and just, you know, take advantage of that fact. Even people who he trusted, he seems to be looking at Edelgrim when he's saying that. I see. I had some other questions. Boss, I'm more sure than ever that this Berkane up ain't on the up and up. Sounds to me like they deserted, like they're looking for some angle that'll elevate their status in battle. You don't want to be talking to them, boss. You don't know what game they're playing. You could just get burned, literally. I like to get burned. Uh, okay, so boss, I'm more than sure. So there's the Mode's assessment is that this is not just a like a tangential topic to what's currently happening here. That they have deserted. That's what happened because you know they probably wrote something in a journal, maybe Edelgrin. So it's not. I thought that it might be Tegrin's journal that Edelgrin took and like used for you know some used in maybe a untrustworthy way. But it seems maybe Edelgrin's own journal might have been stolen or like found out in such a way that they had to desert their posts. Elevate their status in Bator. So Bator and Batasu, I don't remember the difference. Maybe Bator is the entire plain where Batasu and the Tanari tribes like exist. Why is that little floating? Why is that a little floating skull I see? There's a lovely sweet scent of Batorian decay about you, my pretty. Perhaps we should discuss this later. The Abishai returns its attention to you. Now then, you said you had some questions. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us, please. Okay, no, farewell. Let's talk to you quick save and talk to Tegarin. Sigils just oh my god. Look at all the dialogues I just like scroll through. I don't know why I bother talking to you, neither do I. Oh, these are the cousins bickering amongst themselves. You see a scaled fiend who looks very similar to one standing next to him. In addition to the peers left here, both are black-hued and reptilian. Batwings, greetings all comrades. Truly a joy to see you again. You know, these people are like the most like these are from the lower evil planes, right? And they are so friendly to us, which is a good sign that we were also maybe quite evil back then. What I mean, dear man, is that time, our old enemy, has performed a vicious disservice on you. It robs you your memories and steals your recollections. If you do not recall us, why? It is because you have fallen prey to one of the mortality's weaknesses. We are old friends of yours. Old indeed. What can we do for you? Is it going to be the same? Yeah, they're responding in unison. So we only have to talk to one of them, I think. Let's see some other questions. Okay, it's good that they wrapped it up in a single conversation. Farewell. I hope I've covered everything here. We might talk to them later at some point, so I'm not too bothered about losing some info here. Remind you of torture devices. Apparently they emit steam. They remind you of torture devices. You know, they remind us.
All right.
Talents. It's blowing incredibly hot. Why is Mort lagging behind like
What's
this?
up?
Why can't you just stay with
Done.
Just stay together, okay? Don't block. I think Nameless One walks a bit faster than Mort. Dacon and O. I remember someone saying something very interesting about O. Maybe it was Ilquis. Greetings, Silkix. I would questions, patterns. Okay, then you have that character. Oh, I'm still trying to understand him fully. It's quite an undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are folks of interest. Those are the folks of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I'm too discriminating. Okay, that's fine. Oh, he talks about law. I should listen more because he did refer earlier to us that these people might be lawful people. The patterns taverns are many and varied. I've spoken with the most and find them delightful, with the exceptions of those creatures of law. He gestured towards a pair of abyssai sitting in the corner. They taint the air with their presence, lending an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkis. I understand he requires some aid with the trifling matter. I guess this is getting her to pay the Mochai woman to pay her tab. Abisarating the creatures of law. Okay, I think it's fine. So O is might be quite an undertaking to get through to him. So we'll save him for later. Plus we know that Dakon might eventually leave or like join our party potentially because the game has noted him under playable characters. I haven't even read this. Maybe I've read this description, but I'll wait for the game to give me the proper introduction first. What is he doing? Okay, let's talk to Dakon. This man before you is old. His dry yellow skin has scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular. Scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular and his ears sweep out from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic and a strange shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. He stares through you. For a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead flat black, mirroring the man's eyes.
Hail, traveler.
Wow, he has a voice. He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. Hail, traveler. His voice is quiet and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree.
Your
Hail.
eyes are the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
Far and long. The man meets your gaze, his eyes burrowing into yours. His weapon drains of its black color, assuming it's shimmering you noticed before you spoke to him. Your eyes have the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place. You could say that. The man's gaze does not waver from yours. I am known as Dakon. The emphasis is placed on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. This is for the best. In knowing yourself, there will be little in planes. In knowing yourself, there will be little in the planes left worth knowing. He falls silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal black eyes. I would know why you have come to this city. Speak your questions. I will hear you. Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you? What are you? Okay. I'm looking for answers. I have many questions. It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as... Why? Oof, I have to stress known every time. It is known as the city that does not know itself. Does it know itself? What do you mean? Stop speaking in riddles. The city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. How is it flawed? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. When you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? Its walls are doors. What if the city is not flawed? A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions have strengths that you cannot see? A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are true? What if the city is not flawed and you just do not know the reason for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. Interesting. Its walls are doors. We're just going to extract as much information as we can before we before we commit to any of these like alignments. When you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? The city itself is built from doors. These doors lead everywhere. Where are these doors? They are everywhere. Dacon file silence for a moment. It is said that every bounded space within the city is a door that leads elsewhere. We have heard that there are many portals, but this man is going so far as to say that any bounded space is a door. Like it is completely constructed of doors, or like any bounded space is just a door. I don't understand. Imagine the door to the Smoldering Corpse bar. Remove the door. The frame remains. The space within the frame is still a door. But I walked through the door to get here. It's just an open space. We are having this like little pedantic discussion. Many are the doors you never see. You may pass through them as if air and not know them for what they are. They are close to your sight and touch. Let me put my specs back on. And these invisible doors are everywhere in Sigil. It is said every bounded space in Sigil is a door and it's not known for certain. Doors move, doors change, doors disappear. All are locked. It said every bounded space in Sigil is a door. It is not known for certain. Doors move. Okay, it's not known for certain. Doors move, doors change, doors disappear. All are locked. And the Lady of Pain is the one who just decides which should be open and which should be closed. And the problem this man is having with city is that it's full of doors, but most of them are locked, and so it doesn't know its own nature, having so many doors and locking itself. Locked. The door remains as air until you have the key that opens them. When you have the key, the door will make themselves known to you. How do you know what this dialogue tree is like nested to like 11 layers at this point? The door remains as the door remains as an air until you have the key that opens. How do you know what the key is? Every door has a different key. Some keys are known, others are not known. What are these keys? There are as many keys as there are doors. The keys are not always things of metal. The keys can be clashing of two swords, a drop of blood drawn from a tongue of a dying man, the memory of a past love, or an angry curse hurled at the sky. When the key and the door match, the door reveals itself. Sounds like finding all these keys and doors can be difficult. Such a task has been attempted but never finished. As the city changes, the doors change. Nothing known remains known for long. Interesting. This is an entire maze. Why is it is flawed again? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it's flawed. I think this will just cut into one of the dialogue tree layers. Okay. There is no way to back out of this conversation. Is there a way to like thanks for the information, because I don't want to commit to either of these philosophies of like law or order. We clearly don't know. Like it could be is the answer. There is order in everything. That's what it says. What if these conditions are strengths that you cannot see? What if, even though it is posed as a what if, it seems like if we do this, we just align ourselves with. Oh, show more. Speak as if the city is alive. Add some other questions. Interesting. Okay, we can back out of it without saying anything. It may not be aware and know itself in the sense that you or I might know ourselves, but it lives, it grows, changes, and touches the minds of all that live here. Add some other questions. If features are unfamiliar, who are you? What are you? Okay, let's ask about that. A Gitzerai. A Gitzerai. A Gitzerai is one of the people. One of the people. A Gitzerai. Yes, but what are the Gitzerai exactly? Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks. Our history does not need to be known to you. We would bleed to death on times played before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people. Just make it brief then. I don't need to know your histories, but I would know of our people as they are now. Dakon is silent for a moment. Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. With a deft motion, Dakon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. I don't know where the limbo is. Okay, maybe it's in one of the planes. I have to look. No, this is accepted as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. Wait, see what happens. Oh wow, he did a little animation. There, we mold the matter of limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts. As you watch, a series of rippling waves of metal begin to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitch and the crest of the waves match the inflections in Dakon's voice. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are Kitsarai. What is that blade you have? It moved, shifted in response to your voice. It is a Karak blade. It's an object that lets others know the rank of the wielder. Karak? What does that mean? Dakon falls silent for a moment, if searching for the correct words. In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Karak is not shaped by heat, but knowing oneself. It's a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak. What rank does a blade signify? The blade is a symbol carried by Zerth. Zerth is one who knows the word of Zertimon. In knowing the word of Zertimon, they know themselves. Oh my god. Zertimon founded our race. He knew the Gitsarai before they knew themselves. He defined the people. He gave them one mind. One mind or one mind. Karak is not shaped by heat. And so difficult to talk. Already difficult enough to talk to Dakon. I can't imagine how convoluted a conversation with O is going to be. Can you tell me of the Gitsarai people again? Tell me about the city. I should ask this first. Maybe I'll just stop doing that if I ask about it. All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by their knowing of themselves. And if a man does not know himself, when a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, that which he touches is flawed. It is said that what a flawed man sees, his hand make broken. When a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, okay, no, this follows through, I guess. Do you know yourself? Dakon fast silent. His coal black eyes take on the same distance that you noticed when you first spoke. Do you know yourself? When Dakon speaks, his voice has changed. His voice echoes like a great stone dropped into a chasm. It looks like he is forcing the word from his chest. It is not my will that you know this. My god. Perhaps I was being too kind phrasing it as a question. That's like a threat. It's not my will that you know this. Do you know yourself? No, just tell me. It's fine. The words come out of Dakon slowly as if they are being carried by one. It has come to pass that I do not know myself. Why? Tell me. Dakon's voice drops to a whisper like sand. I do not know why. I know it has happened, but I know not the how, nor the when, nor how to know myself once more. Damn. Okay. I don't know which questions I have asked at this point. I think we asked about city. Okay, I had some other questions. Was he obsessed with knowing even before knowing that he does not know himself anymore? Or did it come about? I wonder if all Gitsara is just like talking like this, or only he is obsessed with this knowing aspect. What then? What is this blade you have? It's a Karak blade. It's an object that lets others know. What does rank signify? Okay, they know the word of Sertimon, and the word of Sertimon they know themselves. But apparently he's now having doubts. So he's in a bit of a tough spot right now. Do you know of a man named Farod? I'm told he knows something about me. That one is not known to me. I had some other questions. Lost a journal. Location of the thing is not known to me. There is nothing to be said. Farewell. As you turn to leave, the man speaks sharply. The first time you heard his tone change since the conversation behind. Hold. The man's voice levels out. The city is not known to you. I would travel your path with you. You immediately accept. The man's voice levels out. This city is not known to you. I will travel your path. I have no idea why he chooses to do this. Like, no idea what his motive is in just traveling with us. Just because the city is not known to me, what benefit are you going to get in being beside me? Like, obviously, I would have an extra blade. That's nice. But why would you? Do you just like? Are you so virtuous that you just offer help to someone who is a bit lost in the city?
Your path is mine.
Strangely enough, his voice seems distant, and it echoes as if he was speaking from a great distance. Very well, let's go. Damn, what an achievement. Endure. In enduring, grow strong. That's the achievement name. So we have another party member now.
Endure.
Let's look at...
In enduring, grow strong.
Ah, he just said that dialogue. Endure, and in enduring, grow strong. Interesting. No, I like this character. Yeah, he's very interesting. Let's look at the statistics screen and look at Dakon. Dakon, fighter mage. Damn, we don't need a mage. We need someone else. We have a mage already. Need someone else. Armor class 2. Great. He's a tank. A mage who is a goddamn tank. Okay, that's nice. I don't know if that's nice actually, but yeah, it's interesting at least. Alignment. This represents your disposition towards good or evil or chaos. Current alignment, lawful neutral. Okay, he is very ordered, but he is not inclining towards evil or good. Lawful neutral characters believe in order over all other concerns. Okay. 33 hit points, same as Mort, I believe. Mort might have been 33 when he was level 3. This guy is level 3. Gitzerai, male. Look at his ears. It's a very gaunt face. Yes. What looks like what do we call this thing where you braid your beard and have like small beads on it? It looks like a beard. Maybe it's his mustache. It's difficult to tell because it's such a low resolution image. And is not in any faction. A group of individuals who hold similar beliefs about the nature of the multiverse. Belief is power on the planes. If enough people believe in an idea, that idea may become reality. Faction non-aligned, non-faction allegiance. Does everyone align together once we pick a faction? Biography. My past is not known to you. It's not my will that you should know it. Know that I bear the scars of one who has traveled the plains. Know that I have never rested long in any place. Know that I bear the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place. Know that I bear the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place. This is talking about us actually. I know that I am a Gitzerai. Know that I am one of the people of Sertimon. It was Sertimon who knew the Gitzerai before he knew ourselves. He knew that we had to be what had to be done to free us. From his knowing came action. From his knowing, freedom was born. Gitzerai ceased to be slaves and became a people. Know that I follow the unbroken circle of Sertimon. His words are known to me. His heart is known to me. All that remains is that I know myself. Wow.
Your will
Hopefully
be
he's a
done.
very reliable
Yeah,
individual.
sure, why not?
Okay. Now we have the option to talk to this person, I think.
What
This
is
option.
your will?
Dakon turns to you. His eyes are polished coals. Blade mirrors his eyes for a moment as you address him. Then he nods. What's your will? There are things I would know. Dakon. As a question, describe why I wanted to ask about your travels. Can I talk to you about your teachings? Wait, what? I wish to give up my current profession and resume the study of a weapon craft. Dakon, can you train me? Wait, what? Can you teach me anything? Know that the way of the people is not the same as the art you have come to know. It's not the energy that gives strength, it's knowing the self that gives strength. The teachings of Sertimon speak of such things. Would you teach me of the way of Sertimon, Dakon? I had other things I would know, Dakon. Do you know what you asked? The texture of Dakon's blade flows until it becomes a stone. To walk the path of Satyamon, you must know of the people. The knowing of such thing is by one, not of people, is a difficult matter. There are those, not of people, who have heard of the way of Satyamon, but they do not know the way. Jesus, we'll come back to this later, okay? If you will teach me, I will learn. And other things I would know, Dakon. Okay, let's... this is something that we can return to. Hopefully this bar is something that we will return to regularly. So I'm going to put a pin here saying Dakon can teach us about Sertimon. Talk to him later. Okay. So that is something that we'll probably forget if we don't write down, I think. What does Mort have to say about our new
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
friend? Okay.
Huh?
Maybe Mort remembers
Hey, what's
how
eating
he
you, Chief?
died. No idea, Chief. I kind of forgot when I died. Can't say I blame myself much. At least there was something waiting for me after I died, even if it was life as a floating spell. Maybe it could have been worse. What happened to your body? I don't know, alright? It's gone. Won't glare at you. But don't think I miss it because I'm happy just the way I am. And I don't need your half-wit judgments or snide remarks, alright? Whatever. Let's go. Come on, shake a leg. Sorry. I'm convinced that you are in some sort of walking curse that destined to follow me. I am not convinced that you are in some sort of walking curse that's destined to follow me around. Look who's talking. Let's go. Okay, who else is left? Only O is left. If we can talk to O, we can leave this dreadful place. There's a door here. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
I can't. Not more, not more.
I'm gone.
Let everyone go. Open the door, see what's inside. This functional door is now nailed shut and barred on the inside to protect against thieves. How do we know that? We know it's to protect against thieves. These red door pipes do nothing to alleviate the already warm air. Okay, let's talk to O. I'm kind of wary of doing this. You see a man standing stock still. He is moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears that he is even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within the bounds is a flat grey light. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Is that metaphorical or like... Literally, that's the case. Contained within their bounds is a flat grey light that seems to dance with possibility. Looking into the sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of a limitless void shivers through you, as if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity. The head slowly swivels towards you. You notice that no muscle appears to move under his skin as he turns, and he speaks in a pure bell-like tone. "Well met, wanderer. You have forgotten again, haven't you? I don't have time for cryptic ramblings. I'm looking for a journal. It's urgent. Do you know where I write down this second dialogue? Are you furrowed? I'm looking for... Are you furrowed? Who are you? You know me, stranger. That's okay. As he opens his mouth, you get the feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth, you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if this man were a shell surrounding an illimitable expanse. I have spoken with you before, and always you forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. Okay, let's pay attention to this man. I have spoken with you before, always you forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have strength enough to endure your existence. What do you know of me? How do you know this? I know that you, like a fly, rises up in the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain, seeking the light without any plan to your actions, and fall exhausted when you fail. You alight on others to feed from them. You alight on others to feed from them for a time, and move on with no regard to them. I watched you come here and listen to your words, and watched you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, seeker? What is elite? I don't know what exactly elite means in this context. Flaming as it burns. You alight on others to feed from them for a time and move on with no regard to them. I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain. This is like so grim, like what he's saying right now. The prospect of like where our journey is going to end up. You alight on others to feed from them for a time and move on with no regard to them. I watched you come here and listen to your words, and watched you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, seeker? I don't think I like your tone. Who are you? Not this time. Attack him. Why the hell would I do that? Who are you? I am O. For some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking of much more than a single letter, as if the speaking of his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. Oh, what sort of name is that? It's a void. That's what is representing. What sort of name is that? It's my name. It's the name of a portion of. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I'm a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I'm written the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysics. Why are you in a bar? Why are you not somewhere like floating in a sky or something? You look like a regular dude in a bar. That is the most curious part. I think you're entirely crazed. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am written the true names. So what does that mean? The third option. Right. Answer me some questions. Okay. The divine alphabet is written the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the hearts of elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. The divine alphabet is written the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the heart of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers, sisters, a single world translates into two in your mind. Oh my God. Okay, that's a crazy thing to describe. A single world translates into two in your mind, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. Tell me about the great beyond. You would not understand. No mortal possibly could. It is beyond the powers of comprehension of all, but the most powerful of powers. And once they understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. I can explain it no more than that. Perhaps sometimes you will understand. You would not understand. No mortal possibly could. It's beyond the powers of comprehension of all but the most powerful of powers. And once they understand, they move beyond the veil of comprehension. Okay, so once we understand what the great beyond is, we ourselves become like really difficult to comprehend for others. Is it? I can explain it no more than that. Perhaps sometimes you will understand. So what are you doing here? Why? I'm watching the ebb and flow of mortality. What do you see? You models are like wasps. You build your life's nest, like same word translated into two things. You build your life's nest from the slimmest of branches, and when the wind shakes your home life free, you seek to sting the wind to death. Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, attempting to repair the damage you have caused yourselves, and learning from your experience, you bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you. You harm any who have the misfortune to blunder near you in times of pain and distress. My advice to you and to all mortals: stop acting like an insect and start acting sentient. This is very deep stuff here. You mortals are like wasps. You build your life's nest around the slimmest of branches, and then when the wind shakes your home life free, you seek to sting the wind to death. Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, attempting to repair the damage you've caused, and learning from your experience, you bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you in your time of pain and distress. My advice to you. I'll think about that in the meantime. Yeah, this is like this makes humanity and like mortals look so childish when it's like so concise and to the point about how we behave when things are going bad. I'll take a screenshot of this for later. It's a good dialogue. That should. Okay. I think I'll think about that. In the meantime, answer some more questions for me. What was that you were saying about a divine alphabet? It's urgent. I know where you can find it, but it's not my place to reveal such information. Rest assured, you will find it, as well as the man you see. Yeah, this guy knows everything. It's just like this is no way to extract that information out of him. Do you know where Farod is? I know where he is. I can give you only one word: nearby. You'll find him in the hive under a veil of secrecy. That's what all your answers seems to be under as well. Can you give me an answer to another question? What do you know of that? I know that your journey takes you far beyond your journal quest, to the very edges of existence. You will struggle for your life and your very spirit, and I do not tell you any more regarding this. He knows that he won't tell anything more. Then tell me of something else. Have you heard of a man Farod? You'll find him in the hive, veil of secrecy. Tell me of the patrons. Patrons of this place are varied, yet all mortal. Like all mortals, their concerns are limited with the potential of blossoming into actual truth. So he is hopeful that something interesting might happen here. I can tell you this though: you may find a companion dear to your heart here, at least as dear to your heart will allow. He said one companion, a companion. We already recruited Dakon. So I wonder what the Burning Corpse Ignis would be, because Ignis is also in our journal as a playable character. I thought there are two people here, but seems we already recruited Dakon, and the I don't know what to call him. The O, this person here, O, has told us that we'll find a companion dear to your heart. So maybe it's talking about someone, because Dakon is clearly someone who's new to us. He isn't someone we have met previously, I think. But Ignis is probably someone whom we are already aware of. But we have no idea how to. Okay, I think I should be insulted, but I'll let that slip. Why insulted? Because he said that at least as dear as your heart will allow. That was the thing that offended us. What is it you wish to know? Tell me about yourself. Nemo, for some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking of a much more than a single letter. No human to remember. What are you? It is in my name. It's a name of a portion of eternity. I'm a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am written the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysics. So I think what would happen if we say this? That is what you wish to believe. Best of luck, traveler. Farewell. Jesus, we pissed him off. Why the... Dude, come on. That was so... Okay, hello again, traveler. O seems to have moved from where he was standing when last you spoke to him. What do you need for me? What do you need from me? Divine Alphabet is certainly the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the heart of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers, sisters, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept, and the unimaginable. You would not understand. No mortal possibly could. It's beyond the power of comprehension of all, but the most powerful of powers. And once they can understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. This day is confusing me. Is it talking about the understanding itself moving beyond the veil of comprehension? No, right? The most powerful of powers immediately become incomprehensible once they realize what the great, like once they understand what the great beyond is. Come to think of it, nothing. Farewell. Do you talk to most people?
I don't trust the Gith. I say we leave him behind.
Mort is talking about Gith, saying he doesn't trust. Okay, Ignis, can you talk to us? Please. This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly above an iron grill upon the floor of the bar. It may have once been human, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Streams of fire form a wreath around the creature's body, and the flames lick at the few remaining pockets of flesh, causing them to bubble and run like wax down the creature's skeletal frame. Greetings. It does a kind of animation. This thing makes no response. It rides slowly within the flames. It leaves, but it does not seem aware of anything other than the fire that surrounds it. Its skin is flame, its heart is flame, and you know, within some shadowed corner of your memory, that this thing is dangerous. The heat surrounding this creature is incredible. To your surprise, the iron grill the creature floats above has sagged and bent from the heat. At first you thought the heat came from the grill, but now you realize it emanates from the creature. As you watch, flecks of ash drift from the writhing corpse and float slowly to the ceiling. I'm just looking at the animation, just turning around, like going up. Leave the thing alone. Oh wait, what was that animation? No animation? That was a weird animation. Okay, it doesn't complete fully. We have Dakon. We have a bunch of side quests outside the bar, I think. Things we can do, like we can go talk to Ingress. Let's look at the journal quickly and see what all things remain. So in quest tab, I met a man named Reekman who has been cursed to perpetually excrete foul bodily odors from every orifice. Perhaps I could find a way to help him. He said he was cursed by some fat, balding man who favors dressing in orange. Wow. The curse victor probably lives in the upper ward where Reekwind used to live. I have completely forgotten about this. Or like didn't even notice this came to us as a quest. Deliver box to Kutra. Isn't this the box that we got from a man who had a bunch of limb lying dead around him? Porphyron's necklace. Thugs by a bar that burns inside. So it should be nearby Smoldering Corpse. We can go around Smoldering Corpse and try to like take on any of the remaining thugs here. Maybe one of them will drop the necklace. We don't know what to do with these. Maybe we can go and talk to Blackross now that we have met Candrian and know that he's possibly also the negation phenomena has possibly also happened to Blackross. Find the source of Farod's bodies for Emmerich. These three are like still, yeah, they're like untouchable. We have no idea how to reach these yet. And yeah, possibly we'll go back to Farod after finishing up these. After finishing up these quests, we'll return to Buried Village with Dakon and try to investigate further. I think that's what we should do. But for now, let's stop here. We have a bunch of quests to finish. We'll finish those in the hive and then return to Buried Village. But yeah, let's stop for now.